I'm glad to meet you again today, and I want to appreciate the fact that we are meeting today. Yesterday, we started a series on You Are Not Dull, Part 1. You Are Not Dull, Part 1. And today, we want to look at Part 2 on You Are Not Dull. And like we concluded yesterday on Part 1, that when people actually say that you are dull, they actually want you to believe that you are not intelligent. And we're able to look at the reason why we cannot accept the fact that anybody is dull. And today, to continue part 2, I want us to look at how to be strategic in your studies as a student. How to be strategic in your studies as a student. Strategy number 1, prepare your reading timetable. Prepare your reading timetable. Timetable preparation before you start studying your books is very important. This will give you direction on how to go about your subject or courses in school. Your personal reading timetable should be different from your lecture timetable. This is because you cannot be reading in the library while you are supposed to be taking lectures, whether online or traditional classes. You may ask, how do I prepare my reading timetable? Fantastic question. Now, let's assume you are in year 1 in higher institution, and in your year 1 you have 8 courses online, and each day, on Monday you have 3 courses, Tuesday either 3 or 2, and at the end of the week you have been able to repeat some courses twice. And make those courses you are doing each day your reading timetable. If you're having 3 on Monday, make it your reading. Make those courses the courses you are reading for that very Monday. And if you're having 2 on Tuesday, make those 2 courses that you are reading, those courses you are learning, the one you'll be reading on Tuesday. And by the time you have been able to follow that, you discover that each day you have been taught any course or whatever subject, you have been able to read them, and you have been able to also make reference, either textbooks or other materials that they've actually recommended for you, and it means you are updated. By the time you are coming for another lecture of the same course, you discover that you have actually read the previous notes or topic, not to wait for another week to read what you have learned for the previous week. So by the time you're reading each topic that you have been taught every day, you discover that you will not be left behind. You'll be familiar with what you are learning, and because when you learn what you have been taught each day, it's easier for you to understand it, because you remember those things that your lecturers have said or your teachers. And what's next? That is, by the time you have been able to do that, you discover that you have read the course twice a week. And if you have been able to read that course twice a week, multiply it by 4 in a month. You have been able to read it 8 times. The reason because you have been doing what? Cyclic studies. Not random. You don't pick the one you like. Don't read like, oh, I'm just reading because I feel that this one is more difficult than others. No, it should be specific. Know what you'll be reading on Monday, and that means what you are reading on Monday this week will also reflect what you'll be reading next week, Monday. And that will help you to be what? To be specific and to have direction on how to go about your studies. And before you know, you have been able to cover all that you have learned by the end of the semester. Strategic number 2, follow up accordingly. Too many students prepare good timetable, but not all are faithful to follow it up. Some students get distracted after some time, and so they may not be able to continue. This will affect your performance. When you discover the subject or courses that are easier for you to understand, then put more effort to the one you are finding difficult to understand. Sometimes you really need to understand that there are no courses that are not important to you. You really need to have this mentality that every course you are doing in school is very, very important, because no one is less than 100%. They are all 100%, even if there are two courses to be combined to make up one. At the end of the day, they will still make it 100%. Strategic number 3: avoid procrastination. Avoid procrastination. You are a student, you think that you have a lot with you and you don't even bother. You feel like I should rest and rest and rest. I want you to believe that you need to stop postponing what you are supposed to study today till tomorrow. You would have done yourself a favor by spending more of your time to study your books instead of unnecessary chat on WhatsApp, Facebook, and every other thing that is not adding value to your life. Refuse to be lazy. I am not against the use of social media, but have self-control. Develop a mentality of doing it now. What you refused to do today may compound your tomorrow's responsibility. The more you solve today's problems, the more pleasant and flexible your tomorrow becomes. Great opportunity come to all, but many do not know that they have met them. The only preparation to take advantage of them is to watch what each day brings. That's said by Albert Dunning. Now, the truth about you leaving something for tomorrow is that you should understand that there's never a day called tomorrow, because nobody will actually live or has actually lived in tomorrow. We all live in today, because tomorrow is an abstract word. Tomorrow does not exist. We all sleep and wake up to meet each day called today, and there's never a day called tomorrow. It's just an abstract word. And what you don't do today will not also meet tomorrow. It will meet today. And so that means that today will actually be affected. Each time you don't do something you're supposed to do, it will definitely become difficult for you to meet up. And strategy number 4, self-control. Now, you need to understand that every human being, we are made differently. So understanding yourself will help you not to struggle with your personal or your reading timetable. Are you a night or day student? Do you enjoy reading in the night or day? Try to understand where you can fit in. It is all part of it. Be focused and avoid distraction from your fellow students. Oh, my roommate is going for night class. I must go with him. No, master your personality. Do not go to class with someone to end up sleeping all through the night. Try to give yourself some rest when you come back from lecture. Do not go to class in the name of reading with empty stomach. Eat food, but do not overfeed. Take light food at night if you intend going for night class. Sleep when you feel like sleeping, but try to control your sleeping habits. You can set an alarm to wake you up when necessary. Strategy number 5, note-taking. Some students find it difficult to write well during the dictation. You can overcome this by either audio recording of your lectures or using some sort of representative short form of representing a word called abbreviation. For example, the word between can be written as B/W or BTW, because can be written as BCOX. Then characteristics can be written as XTRISTICS. Y can be written as Y. And these are some of the short form of words writing when you are in class taking notes. This would help you to overcome the challenge of word being left behind. You can Overcome this by being punctual to class. Avoid depending so much on friends' notes after lecture. Attend your classes. Get the first-hand information from your lecturers or teachers. It is very necessary. You need to take notes. You need to understand that the use of abbreviation is strictly unofficial. The purpose is to help you meet up with dictation. Do not use it in examination or any official matters. Strategy number 6, the use of acronym. Another secret of outstanding student is the use of acronym. Acronym simplifies your assimilation. When we were in secondary school, in those days, we learned on how to use acronym Mr. Niger D for the characteristics of living things. And just bring Mr. Niger D as Mr. Niger D. You have Mr. as M movement, R respiration, nutrition, irritability, growth, excretion, reproduction, and death. With the acronym Mr. Niger D, you do not struggle. Just bring the key, Mr. Niger D, and you would unlock it. And I also form other acronyms. One of them is when you consider also like in wave, also electromagnetic waves from, for example, the order of their highest frequency and the lowest wavelength is equally written using the acronym G-R. G is gamma ray, X X-rays, U ultraviolet, V visible light, I infrared, M microwave, R radio waves. G-R is the simple key to unlock it. The use of acronym helps to reduce the stress and time of thinking too much on a particular thing while trying to remember. You can generate thousands of acronyms to simplify your assimilation. It helps a lot. Just try it by forming a word or phrase to match, or you would have spent so much time by pondering on which one should come first before another. Strategy number 7. Education full of is a practical class a must. Strategy number 7. Practical class a must. Education full of theory is the basis for retardation of national development, said Eric Wiraco. Now, I just want to understand that practical class are very essential. Practical courses are essential part of the departmental curriculum at all levels, and the purpose includes the teaching on how to set up apparatus, operate machines, attend to patients, that's if you're a medical field, the training on power of observation, the teaching on how to handle instruments and experimental data and to assess their values, the training in occurrence of measurement, the training on how to use specialized apparatus and test a hypothesis. Your practical class is very important. It will help you to possess a proper background for careful observation, precise measurement, and theoretical knowledge on how to use the experimental result to their full advantage. Each time you miss a practical class, it may be difficult to do it again, especially when it comes once or twice in a week. Although some departments may wish to organize makeup practical, but that cannot build you enough on practical. If you fail your practical or clinical courses, you will not graduate. Make sure you attend your practical classes and pay proper attention while handling it. Approach the theoretical and practical courses with all seriousness and perseverance. Some may require your class to travel, e.g. field work or field trip or even excursion. Make sure you participate. Do not prefer one to another. Balance your intelligence. If you have family problems that are affecting your performance, discuss with a professional counselor. For health issues that would make you to be absent from class, notify your class coordinator so he can inform your course advisor or head of department. However, if it is possible, call the class coordinator yourself. Attendance is very important to lecturers. Use the school health center. It is free and preferred by most of the students, except otherwise. Beloved, if you are able to put down and practice all these strategies in your studies, there is no how you cannot be able to answer questions in exams. And it's not grade that start first. It's all about you knowing what you are doing. If you are able to know what you are doing in school, I believe that there is no way you cannot be able to answer questions in exam. Reason because it's knowledge, is what you know that will help you to be able to write your exam without fear. Nobody goes to exam with textbook, and nobody goes to exam with papers. Why? Because it's expected that you are able to master what you have been learning for 3 months in a semester or term. And why you are expected not to do that is because there's the theory of mastery. It can be aligned with the philosophy that says that when you read something 10 times with concentration, you will know it. It's very true. You will know it when you read something. So if you have been able to be reading those courses you are doing twice a week, discover that in a month you have been able to read them 8 times, and it rotates to the remaining 2 months, making it 3 months for a semester. And at the end of the day, you discover that the 2 weeks that will be given to you to prepare for your exam, you discover that the first week is actually for you to sit down and cover up in order to meet up with the areas you have not been able to read. And if you can read your courses twice a week when you have lectures, there's no way you cannot be able to read them 3 times when you no longer have lectures. And so by doing that, you have been able to read them 11 times. That means you have crossed the margin of you reading something 10 times with concentration for you to know them. And the last week is actually the week, which is the second week, is for revision. Many students, or let me say most of the students who actually have challenge in their exams, or maybe those people who fall sick, are actually those ones who want to suppress the work, what they've been learning for 3 months in 2 weeks. It doesn't work like that. When you are too in a haste to read something, you may not be able to grab the detail. So it is very important that you pay attention from the onset. Start on time. When you start reading on time, you discover that before the end of 3 months, you have done a lot, you have covered a lot. So the first week is actually a makeup week, and the second week is actually for revision. So if you actually want to use the 2 weeks for you to read in order to get all that you have been learning for 3 months, that may be very difficult for you to grab, because where is the place of revision? And so the next time we shall be meeting on You Are Not Dull part 3, we'll be talking about how to go about your revision. I remain your academic advisor and counselor, Promise Odigwe. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.